What do you think was the number one mistake you still see artists making and they're making excuses for?
Well, that I wouldn't. I mean, that's not just artists. You know, this applies to all walks of life. You know, and it's sorry, folks. There's a plane going by, but it has to do with consistency. Consistency is the key in everything that you do. If you are consistent, then you will always show up consistently. And so I always tell them. Also, I tell a lot of young artists that every hero is a boy at last. You know,
Every hero
is a boy at last.
Wow.
Yes, my father used to say this, and people, you know, you got folks who are very famous now, who, when they are not famous no more, they might need therapy, because fame is a drug. Fame is a drug. It's an addictive drug. And once you taste fame, if you're not careful, you become an addict. You become a junkie for fame. That's when you see them start to do all kinds of craziness just to remain relevant, you know. And so that's another thing that I always teach, that you gotta humble yourself enough to understand that you might be, everybody know your name, but there'll be a time where you walk in the room and heads are not gonna turn like it used to. But you can bow out gracefully though. You know, there's a way to bow out gracefully. And I think I'm a living example of this. You know, I still carry myself, my name, the way that I move. And I don't, you know, the respect comes to you naturally. So, you know, don't clown yourself.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people, and you just said that, you know, consistency is key. Consistency is key. But then when I look at Reggie, I can easily say, yeah, you know what? He from with Tim Westwood, Beanie Man, all of these artists. Now he's telling me consistency is key because he's done it, he's seen it.
Yeah.
But I did 1, 2, 3. I'm still not seeing anything. How do I keep going?
Well, you know, sometimes it's a cue to change your plan. You know, sometimes you could be married to somebody for so long before you realize that that's not who you're supposed to be with. And that happens too. Not to bust your bubble, folks, but it does happen. So, you know, a lot of times people don't seek Jah. You got to really take your biz to the Most High, and you got to take your biz to God. And once God ordains, and you know, you can't do none of this without God's direction. And that's another thing that I also teach, that, you know, you might not be religious, you might be spiritual, but there's the one thing that you cannot deny: you didn't make yourself. There's something out there, well, way greater than you, and that's your creator. And so I always say, check in with your creator, and the rest, you know.
I don't understand why people still feel like you can attain a certain level of success without being spiritual or being grounded in God. I still don't, I can't fathom it.
Well, because God does work in mysterious ways. You got folks who became who they wanted to become without none of the above we spoke on, because God just blessed them, and God knows his children, and, you know, he got a soft spot for some of them, and, you know, but eventually...
Wait, he's got a soft spot for some people?
I think so. Even in the biblical scribe, you know, when you check some of the stories, some people got favor. You know, you had, dude was a drunk, he was a this, but he was blessed.
He was blessed.
You know, but this doesn't mean nothing, because you could get smacked the same too. You know, the wrath of Jah is heavy. So, you know, watch your mouth now. But these things do happen. So he moves in mysterious ways.
You think he's got a soft spot for you?
Of course he does. Of course he does. I'm blessed.